Hollowell, and I am from Adams County, Pennsylvania. This February, I was selected to serve on the 2020 Pennsylvania 4-H State Council as the Vice President of Events. Over my 12 years of 4-H projects, I've learned so many amazing skills and has so many amazing opportunities, such as completing a livestock project. So today we are on my family farm, and I want to show you a little bit about my current project this year, which is a dairy beef feeder steer. So we can head back to the barn right now. So now we're here at the barn, and my dairy beef feeder steer is right inside. Once we get inside, I will show you a little bit more about how to raise a steer as a 4-H project. So let's go take a look. So we're here at the barn right now with my steer, Jalen. I bought him last week from a local dairy farm right up the road. He's about a week and a half old, and now I'll show you how to bottle feed him. So here we have the milk bottle and the milk nipple that we will be using to feed my baby calves. First, we will put a little bit of water in the bottom of the bottle, and this is warm water so that it will emulate the milk that the calves will drink from their mother. Next, we'll put exactly 1 cup of milk replacer into the bottle and put some more water on top so we can shake it all up and make the milk for the babies. Once that's all shaken up and the bottle's completely full, we will put the nipple on so that we can take it in and feed the calves. So now we're currently bottle feeding my baby calf, Jalen. He will be on milk replacer for about 7 weeks as we start to wean him off and put him on calf starter. After that, he goes through bagging out, we'll put him on calf grower, and then after that, we will move him to 14% heifer feed to finish him out as a project and make him look the best he can for show day. So as I said before, the calves will be on a milk replacer and a milk bottle for about 7 weeks until we will start to transition them to drink milk from a bucket. They will also then begin on a calf starter feed, which is their first solid feed that they will experience. That's a 50-pound bag, and they will have that until they're completed with that bag. Then we'll move them on to a calf grower feed, which is a little bit higher in protein, a little bit stronger to start them off. Finally, after they're completed with that bag, we'll move them on to a 14% heifer feed, which is what we have pictured here, and we will finish our project off with this feed to make sure that the steers meet their ideal market weight, which is between 400 and 700 pounds. However, these steers are not ready to go to the market just quite yet. They have about 12 more months of growth throughout their process until they're completely finished. If you want a market-ready steer, you will find that in a dairy beef finished steer project, which is also available in the 4-H program. So while we were back at the barn, we learned a little bit about the start of my dairy beef feeder project, but now we're going to learn a little bit more. So here's a timeline of growth to show you how this project will progress throughout your 4-H experience over 1 year. First, we're going to start with the purchase and starting of your feeder calf. So for my case, my show is at the beginning of August every year at the South Mountain Fair. So the ideal purchasing time for me is between November 15th and January 15th. Once you purchase your steer, you're going to start him on milk replacer because you'll purchase him as a baby. And as I said before, then you'll progress to more solid feed after 7 weeks. Next, we'll move on to the growth, care, and maintenance of your steer. So you want to make sure that you take care of your steer every day because they take a lot of work and they take a lot of time to grow. So you want to make sure your steer has access to clean feed and water every day. Also, you need to prepare your steer for the show and sale. So you need to start halter breaking your steer at a very young age. Now this will happen as you will put the halter on your steer and you will tie him to a fence or some sort of solid area so that he can get used to wearing the halter and responding to it as necessary. You want to try and start this training every day so that your steer gets more used to it and more comfortable in this position that it's in. From there, you want to start practicing to walk your steer and handling it yourself instead of tied to a fence. Next, we'll move on to practicing for show day. So some of the skills that you're going to need to know for show day is walking your steer, setting him properly, and using a show stick. So you can do this, again, by practicing at a very young age, getting your steer halter broken, and getting them used to responding to you and respecting you, because that is so important, and you won't be able to show your steer effectively if you cannot do that. And like I said earlier, you want to practice every day so that you can do the best you can with your market steer. Don't forget to also write a buyer letter. For me, at the South Mountain Fair, we have the opportunity to show and sell our dairy beef projects. Now, this means that to sell it, we need buyers who are willing to purchase our projects. So we write specific buyer letters to certain people in our community that we feel might help us come to the show or potentially come to the sale and buy our projects. So this is a letter that gets sent out mid-year through your project a few months before the show so that people can get it on their calendar and come out and support you. Next, we'll move on to show day. So during show day, there is a lot of things that happen in a very short amount of time. So the first class that you'll participate in is your showmanship class. Now this class is based strictly off the performance of you and your animal. It is not based off of the structure, the muscle, or anything else of your animal. This is based off of you, how you respond to your animal, how you handle situations, and how much you actually know about your project. So the judge will talk to you as soon as you walk in the ring, tell you how they want you to move your animal about the ring and how they want you to set it up. Next, they might come around and ask you a certain question about your project or how you raised your project, just any question that you would be expected to know as the project and member of the Dairy Beef Feeder Club. Next, you will move into a market class. Now, these classes are divided by weight, and these weights will be based on your project animal. So when you go into your specific weight class, the judge is solely looking at your project animal. This is specifically looking for the structure, the muscle, and the build of your animal because you want the most ideal market calf you can have. Some tips for show day: watch the judge. Make sure you keep your animal between yourself and the judge as much as you can. I know it's not always ideal and it can't always happen, but do it as much as you can so that the judge can get the full look of your project. Be yourself. It can be very, very stressful to be in the show ring. It can be very nerve-wracking, especially if it's one of your first experiences. But be yourself, be honest with the judge, and have fun. Don't forget to smile too. And finally, we will move on to sale day. Now, this is one of my least favorite days of the project because you have to say goodbye to your project animal, but that's okay because the project is not over. Next, you have to finish your project book, which you have been completing throughout your whole experience with your market project. This finishing of your project will entail writing down your final expenses, any income that you received from the fair, as well as your conclusions from show day and sale day about how positive your experience was. So as we can see here, here's a short timeline of growth from your dairy beef feeder steer project. Now, that seems like a lot, but there's more. 4-H has so many amazing opportunities, and some of my favorites are just pictured here. Whether it's going to a state, a regional, or a national event, maybe participating in an officer training, or experiencing the show ring for the first time, there are so many amazing opportunities throughout the Pennsylvania 4-H program. So I would highly recommend becoming a part of it, and if you would like to learn more, go to the Pennsylvania 4-H website. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today and for letting me share my 4-H project with you, which is a dairy beef feeder steer. I hope you learned a lot, and if you're willing to learn more about the Pennsylvania 4-H program, please check out the Pennsylvania 4-H website. Thank you so much and have a good day.